welcome to the channel. Figured I'd do a little rambling today since I haven't done one in a couple days, and people seem to like my little rambles. Plus, for some reason, it's just kind of easier to just drive and talk. It's pretty weird. I don't know. Now I understand why Native and everybody else does it. What I would like to talk about first is the rabbits, the two that were injured yesterday. They seem to be okay. I have not messed with them. I'm letting them just chill and relax. When I get home from this drive today, I'm going to go out and double check the fence, make sure it's still good, reinforce it where I need to, and I'm going to kind of get them to get up and move around and make sure they're still mobile, make sure there's no significant injuries to their back legs or anything, and just kind of check them out, get the wounds cleaned up real good, and just kind of assess the situation. But it was real important for me to give them at least 24 hours to just chill out and relax and let them get back to, you know, some semblance of normal, because this was obviously a shock to their system. But Za, today is day 30. As you guys know, she delivered last time on day 31. And I was really hoping she would wait till day 31, because I think the longer they hold those babies in the belly, the healthier and the bigger those babies seem to be. At least that's the case with Za's first litter. You guys know she had 9 in the middle of July in 100-degree heat, and all 9 were fat and happy, and all 9 are still alive and well and fat and happy. And I know people say rabbits, you know, they give birth somewhere between, I think it's 27 or 28 and 31 or 32 days. Yeah, the further into that, those are the breeding rabbits I'm going to keep, the ones that go at, you know, the max, you know, 30 or 31 days. So I'm looking for Za to kindle tonight, first thing tomorrow, within 24 hours at the latest. If she does not, then I will kind of worry about maybe it was a false labor. I did try to palpate her abdomen, but it's been a rough couple days with the dog attack and everything. I didn't want to stress her out, you know, because she was right beside it. So I'm just kind of taking a step back and letting the rabbits be rabbits for a while without any. Only time I'm bothering them is to bring them food and water. That's it. I'm not stressing them out at all. But let's get to the gist of this ramble. This is something that came to my attention actually this morning. I was just, you know, shuffling through some random YouTube channels trying to see what's going on. And this subject may be a little bit touchy, but I don't care. It needs to be talked about. It is what it is. There was a video posted on TikTok, and it was somebody saw it and they put it on YouTube. But basically it was a teacher that was going on a liberal rant, and they posted the video, and I got to tell you, just watching the video made me want to reach through the screen and strangle this woman. I mean, just by looking at her, listening to the tone of her voice and the way she was talking, you could tell she has been mentally unplugged from the logic machine for a long, long time. And this woman, when I say teacher, she's a preschool teacher. So we're talking 3 to 5-year-old kids, okay? Her rant was about how successful her and her co-teacher were in bringing in this gender, whatever, sexual knowledge to these 3, 4, and 5-year-old kids. If you didn't hear me when I said that and you think maybe this was some kind of an error message, let me slow it down so you hear me correctly. 3, 4, and 5-year-old kids. They were teaching them it was sex ed for 3-year-olds. They were talking about gender this, gender that, assigning gender, swapping genders, changing from male to female, female to male, which we all know is not only scientifically impossible, but biologically impossible. 3, 4, and 5-year-old kids. And she was hooping and hollering and yes, yippee-ki-yay, because it was so successful and how proud she was. These kids were not only learning it, but they were repeating this nonsense. It was insane, okay? And then it goes on to another teacher, a chemistry teacher, and I believe these were middle school kids, a chemistry teacher. I can't remember the state she was in, but I saw her rant last week. She was going on an anti-Trump rant, and it was pretty disturbing in the middle of class. And here's the great part about America, how I know America's still not dead. One of the kids in the class, in the middle of her rant, interrupted her, and he said, "Isn't this supposed to be a chemistry class?" Good job, buddy. So here's the thing. All right. A lot of you know I am in school to be a teacher. I am finishing up my degree to be a middle grade science teacher. I plan on teaching science. All I plan on teaching is science. Not my view on science, but science as it is taught in the school. Some of my views are completely different than some of the views that I'm going to teach, but I'm still going to teach the views that I'm hired to teach according to science. When I grew up, Pluto was a planet. Well, you know what? Pluto's not a planet anymore. Things change, especially in science. Nothing is proven in science. So there's a little bit of room to go left and right. But you don't hijack a chemistry class to go on an anti-Trump tirade. And literally, I mean, it was borderline, it was rough stuff. So you've got these two teachers now. The YouTube post did say that they have both been terminated from their positions. There was no verification on that, whether it's true or not, who knows. But the problem that I get with this is pushing the liberal agenda, even the conservative agenda. School is no place for politics or agendas, period. And I mean any grade, especially preschool, elementary, middle, or high school, even high school. 18-year-old kids that are still in school should not be force-fed liberal doctrine. They should not be force-fed conservative doctrine. The whole point of going to school is educating a person's mind, letting it mature to the point to where they can make up their own mind about what they believe, what they want to believe, and how they want to conduct themselves as adults. It is not, 13 years worth of hoping you get a good teacher that instills the right beliefs and the right morals in your child. Newsflash, America. Yes, this is breaking news. That's mommy and daddy's job, not the teacher's job. It's not my job as a teacher to teach your child how to respect other people, how to be a decent human being. My job is to teach you 1 + 1 is 2, up is up, down is down. Simple facts of school, not how to be a mature adult, not how to be a decent human being. That's the mommy and daddy's job. Okay, I think that's where maybe society has kind of broke down a little bit, because a lot of parents are counting on schools to teach their kids how to be people, and that ain't how it works. That is just not how it works. That's not a teacher's job. If teachers are required to teach your kids how to be decent human beings, they would never be able to teach them the stuff that they're supposed to teach them, period. Because a lot of these kids nowadays, because they have no guidance at home and they're able to run around free and do what they want, and they can choose their gender and they can flip-flop back and forth, there are no consequences for their actions. It's ridiculous. And now you've got teachers going off crazy on tirades. It says they got fired. They probably didn't. They probably got suspended or just relocated to another school, because nobody wants to touch these sensitive issues. And it's horseshit. Not only do they need to be touched on, they need to be stomped on. This stuff needs to be nipped in the bud, just like the kid in chemistry class. Excuse me, isn't this a chemistry class? That's the kind of attitude we need moving forward. This whole, let's just not talk about it and maybe it'll go away belief, that's the reason we're in the mess that we're in right now. That's the reason that we're dealing with this crap in Afghanistan that we're dealing with right now. Don't you realize, and some of my rants before about this Afghanistan thing, I don't want people to think I'm not a patriot. I love my country. I serve my country. I've been over there, not to Afghanistan, Iraq. Seen and done things. It is what it is. No, I'm not some kind of war hero or anything like that, but I can speak from a position with a little bit of knowledge. Not a lot, nowhere near as much as I need to have to really have an opinion on it, but being an American and living in this country, I get to have an opinion whether you like it or not. Bottom line, we have the manpower, we have the technology, and we have the resources. If we wanted to go to Afghanistan and completely subdue that country and change the way they live their life, we could. We could very, very, very quickly, within a matter of months, that entire country could be literally decimated at our control, period. The problem is the decision makers that do the decision making, that's not what they want. Nobody wants a war that lasts 3 to 6 months. Then they don't get to make any money. They want one that lasts 3, 6, 10, 15, 20 years. Then they get to make that money. That's how the war machine works, okay? So don't get it twisted. Afghanistan didn't kick our butt. We didn't run out retreating, okay? That's not what it was. It was a money-making machine. And now, we had testosterone in the White House. Now we got a whole lot of something else. And it does not require furry round ones to do what's going on up there right now. And, the situation has changed. Bottom line, we could completely subdue that country. We could completely subdue that country and bend it to our will if that's what our agenda was. And I pray to God it never is. No country should have that kind of power over another country to go in there and dictate their beliefs, their religions, and how they should conduct their business. They're their own separate country. Leave them alone. If you don't agree with it, too bad. Leave. I mean, really, people want to dog on the Taliban for the way they treat women and children. And yes, I do disagree with it. I really do. The way that they disrespect women and the way they disrespect children, I do completely disagree with it. But playing devil's advocate, look what we're doing in this country. Look what we're allowing to be done in this country. At least in Afghanistan, when you're talking to somebody, you know if it's a male or a female. Over here, it's a 50-50 shot. It's a shot in the dark. I mean, nowadays, if I was, in the market looking for a girlfriend, I would be legitimately petrified to walk up and talk to somebody at a bar or a nightclub or something like that and try to get a date, simply because I don't know if I'm really talking to a boy or a girl. And I'm strictly female. No disrespect on anybody that ain't. That's your choice. You do you, brother. I'm gonna do me. But legit nowadays, one of the first 3 questions when you meet somebody that you don't know is gonna be, so what you got going on down there? Are we compatible or not? And then if that person says, oh, well, I'm a trans this or a trans that, whatever that means, and we all know that word has no meaning at all, then you look at offending them. What the hell? And we're busting balls on Afghanistan and the Taliban and how they, treat women like, we're back in the 1600s. And I'm looking at this going, wait a minute, yeah, they got a lot of growth to do and getting women back to equals and being treated respectfully and correctly. But look what we're doing over here. We're completely diluting the difference between a male and a female. I mean, think about that for a minute. And we're going to build nations. We're going to impose our will on people. Are you nuts? No wonder they don't want us over there. I don't care what country on the planet. If I was in another country, there's no way I would want the American people coming to my country to rebuild my nation in this screwed up image that we have in America. We need to fix our problems first and then worry about other people's stuff. This looking for a reason to judge other people, it's absolutely pathetic. I mean, we need to look in before we look out. And like I said before, look past the curtains, man. Look through the window, not at it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.